Let's be real, in the endless sea of social media content, it's incredibly tough to stand out. But what if I told you there's one tool that can make your brand dynamic, memorable, and pretty much impossible to ignore? Today, we're diving into your new secret weapon in marketing, animation. Okay, quick gut check. Scroll through your own social media feed right now. I mean, mentally. Is it just a wall of static posts that all kind of start to blur together? If you're nodding your head even a little bit, you know exactly what it feels like to be part of the background noise. And honestly, that's a huge problem we've got to solve. So if that feeling of just blending in hits a little too close to home, that's your signal right there. The old playbook, it's not going to cut it anymore. It is absolutely time to rethink how you grab someone's attention from the very first glance. And that brings us right to the heart of it all, the social media problem, or as I like to call it, standing out in the sea of sameness. We are all fighting for attention in this massive ocean where it feels like every single brand is using the same look, the same feel. So the big question is, how do you break free? Well, let's look at the two sides of this coin. On one side, you've got what everyone else is doing. Static images, those samey templates, stuff our brains are literally trained to just scroll right past. But on the other side, that's the goal. We want content that actually stops the scroll, that's instantly memorable, and grabs attention in that first critical second. So, how do we get from one side to the other? How do we bridge that gap? Well, the answer is what we're talking about today, the animation solution. And trust me, this isn't just another little tactic. It's a total game changer that can completely redefine your brand online. So, what are we really talking about here? At its core, animation is simply the strategic use of motion. Think about it. Our brains are hardwired to notice movement. It's an ancient survival instinct. So when you animate your content, you're tapping right into that. You're creating this dynamic presence that doesn't just grab attention, it actually helps lodge your brand right into your audience's memory. But, what are the real results? What's the bottom line? Let's break down the core benefits, because this is how you turn that initial spark of attention into actual, loyal customers. I want you to think of it like a four-step journey to growth. Each stage builds directly on the one before it. It all kicks off with just a single glance and ends with real business results. So let's walk through it, step by step. All right, step one is all about breaking the pattern. In a feed that's just packed with still photos, a little bit of motion is like a flare in the dark. It literally jolts the viewer out of their mindless scrolling, cuts straight through all that digital noise, and buys you that priceless first second of their attention. But hey, grabbing attention is totally useless if they forget you a second later, right? That brings us to step two, becoming memorable. A unique animation, it could be your logo coming to life or even a super simple animated icon, creates a powerful visual hook. It's something people don't just see, they actually remember it. And once your stuff becomes memorable, that's when the real magic of brand awareness starts to happen. People begin to recognize your signature style, your motion, instantly. That consistent, memorable presence, it builds familiarity and trust, and it makes your brand feel like a welcome, reliable part of their feed. And finally, this all leads to the ultimate goal. That attention, that memorability, that awareness, they are not just vanity metrics. No way. They create a direct funnel, guiding potential customers who now know your brand and are genuinely curious about what you do right to your doorstep. All of this really leads to a huge shift in mindset. We've got to stop thinking of animation as just a one-off post and start treating it like a core piece of your new marketing strategy. The core idea really is this: invest in animation and make it an integral part of your marketing strategy. Now, the keywords there are invest and integral. This isn't some gimmick you try once and forget about. It's about weaving motion into the very fabric of how your brand communicates. So this is the big shift in perspective we're talking about. Stop looking at animation as just another expense or a quirky little post. Start seeing it for what it is, an investment in a powerful brand asset, one that works for you around the clock to build recognition and drive real long-term growth. So, I'll leave you with this one final question to think about. In a world that is always in motion, is your brand standing still?